everybody else is doing something and it seems to be working just fine for them, and you just like look at a cookie and it like instantly like applies itself to your hips or to your stomach or to your cheeks or wherever else. Hi, Amy here on A Lolly Life. Today we are going to talk about the worst diet advice that I ever got and how it led to the very best diet advice that I've ever gotten. I have some health conditions that have caused me to gain a fair amount of weight. Probably 70 pounds. And that's hard. Like gaining all that weight. I think it's just hard. Over the last few months, I have lost, okay, so it's been several months, but whatever. Over the last bit of time, I have lost 30 pounds. Well, 30. 30 pounds. I'm really pretty excited about that. These are some of the things that I have used to lose those 30 pounds. Now, first of all, yes, I walk every day. And so I try to be active, but I don't necessarily go to the gym. I don't have like some fancy exercise routine. I do not do exercise tapes or videos or whatever else. Although I do think some of them look interesting, some of those dance ones. But what I do for exercise is I walk every day with my dog. I try and get in at least 30 minutes of exercise a day. These are the tips that I have for you as far as ways to lose weight, and they're rather unconventional tips. So they're probably not the ones that you read in your last time that you read an article on 10 ways to lose weight in the magazine, you know, on the rack at the grocery store. Tip number 1 is about salads. Now, I personally like salads, but here's the thing about salads, whether you like them or whether you don't like them, oftentimes when you are trying to lose weight or you're trying to maintain weight or whatever, they are a good source of fiber, and they, you know, it's not a bad way to try and lose weight, you know, to eat a little bit more salads, because if you're eating dinner and you eat your salad first, then you're slightly more full when it comes to eating the main course, which usually has more calories or is more fattening or that kind of thing. And so you can take a slightly smaller portion of the main dish and not feel like you're starving yourself or that kind of thing. So the tip is about salads. There's a lot of controversy about salads and dieting, but this is the tip, and it is about salads. The thing about salads that makes them fattening is the salad dressing. The thing that most people would be like, well, it doesn't taste like anything without the salad dressing. And that is a very common theme among salad lovers or haters, or either. The salad dressing is what they like. That's what makes it taste good. So, when you are dieting, obviously you want to cut back on the salad dressing, and that's the tip that everybody gives you. Well, here's how you do it. When you have your salad dressing, if you can get it in a little cup or something like that, great. If not, pour it in a small pile off to the side. Don't put it on top of your salad. Don't let the people put it on top of your salad. Don't put your salad dressing on top of your salad. What you do is you take your fork, dip it in your salad dressing. Salad dressing sticks to the fork tongs. Get a fork full of food, of the salad, lettuce, whatever. Eat it. That tiny bit of salad dressing that you got from dipping your fork into your little pot of salad dressing, or the salad dressing that you have like piled on your plate or whatever, is enough to flavor that individual bite. And believe it or not, if you do it that way, you use less salad dressing, and yet you still get a little bit of salad dressing taste in each bite. So that is my first tip, dieting tip. Dip your fork in salad dressing and then get a bite of salad so that you end up using less salad dressing and you still get a taste of salad dressing on your salad. My second dieting tip is related to snacking. Now, of course, most dieting tips when they come to snacking will say something like, maybe you shouldn't snack, or other things around snacking, or change the snacks that you eat to things that you don't like. That's not my tip. My tip around snacking is to measure out a serving size. Put it in its own little baggie. A lot of times when I get a bag of Cheez-Its or whatever else, I don't even know, just different things, I'll take the entire box and I will measure it out into serving size things into baggies. Now, the reason that this is important is not because I'm going to tell you should be counting calories or whatever else. It has nothing to do with that. This is what you have to do. When you want a snack, you are only allowed to take one baggie and then you go sit down and you eat it. Even if you're planning on eating more than one baggie, which is fine, you only take one baggie. And this is why. Because you take your little baggie of chips and you go over to your chair and you eat your little, and you're sitting there watching TV or watching your little YouTube channel and you're eating your bag of chips and you finish your bag of chips and you want more. Well, guess what? You have to get up, go over there and get another baggie of chips. Now, this does two things. First, it helps you keep track of how much you're actually eating. But second, and most importantly, occasionally I am feeling so lazy and just so unmotivated that even getting up to go get another baggie of chips or whatever else is just too much work. And I would rather sit there and not eat it than get up and go get it. And therefore, I eat less. So there you go. Measure it out. Only take one serving with you at a time. And you have to get up, go get it to get each one of your following servings. So that's like my snack tip. I think this is tip number 4. So tip number 4, and this is very much related to tip number 3, which is about the whole snacking thing. Tip number 4. No one is allowed to help you sabotage your own diet. If you're going to sabotage yourself, do it yourself. Do not let anybody else help you. So there is no, hey, bring me a soda on your way into the room, or bring me another one of those snack baggies of chips or whatever else. You can't do that. That is not allowed. You want it, go get it yourself. Do not let anybody else help you sabotage your own diet. There is no sending somebody else to the store or fast food restaurant or whatever else to bring home some treat or snack or food or whatever else. You want it, go and get it yourself. Tip number 5. Invite some teenage boys, if you do not have any, I'm sure there are some around, to come and raid your pantry. They will eat everything that is prepackaged, easy to make, junk food, snack food, basically anything that isn't like an ingredient that requires effort to like make it into actual food. They will remove all of those things for you very quickly. And so if you have the opportunity to allow some teenage boys and occasionally teenage girls to raid your pantry, I recommend it. Getting as many of those things out of the pantry as possible is a benefit. Okay, my 5th diet tip, or is this my 6th? I really actually should have numbered these. I can't keep track. I think it's my 5th. My 5th diet tip is to limit the number of hours every day that you eat. And I know that this is like some new diet fad, but it's also time-trusted diet help. And it's something that skinny people oftentimes naturally do without really thinking about it that helps them stay skinny. Everything in your body works better when it has some rest. That's just how your body functions. That's kind of like, you notice that in the way that we have wake and sleep cycles. So you have times that you work and times that you don't work. You know, this downtime idea. All of your body works better when it has that. Every single bit of it, including your digestive tract. Maybe especially your digestive tract. And so if you give it a break, it works better.
By the way, downtime means nothing new to deal with. It means no energy drinks, no pickles or celery, or anything that basically has 0 calories, so it shouldn't really count. It means no coffee, it means no tea, it means no nothing. Nothing.
There is something to keep in mind with this. You can absolutely still eat too much while doing this. You have to actually, like, eat a reasonable meal. You can't say, like, my eating window is between noon and 8 o'clock or something like that, and be like, when you start eating at noon and you think, well, I didn't eat breakfast and therefore instead of having a 500 calorie lunch, I'm gonna have 1,000 calorie lunch. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. And the reason I share this tip, despite the fact that it is kind of like this new fad thing, is because it is something that I have done most of my life that has helped me stay skinny. Now, like I discussed earlier, I am not necessarily super skinny at this point. I am working my way back that direction, but as a general rule, for most of my life, I've been fairly skinny. And one of the things that I did, and I didn't even realize I was doing it most of the time, is that I just only ate during certain hours of the day, and I did not eat during my not eating time.
Try it. Give yourself 2 weeks. Be honest about it, though. Make sure that when you're trying it, you're not fudging the numbers or something like that. It really does work.
This particular diet tip of limiting the number of hours that you eat and giving your digestive tract a chance to rest will be all I need to keep the weight off. Unless, of course, my health conditions start acting up again, and then, well, I'll just have to tell you that there are certain things that in your life that should work a certain way and they don't. And occasionally your weight is one of them. And it sucks. Because everybody else is doing something and it seems to be working just fine for them, and you just like look at a cookie and it like instantly like applies itself to your hips or to your stomach or to your cheeks or wherever else. There are situations where, unfortunately, that is the case, but we still do our best to try and keep ourselves as healthy as possible, even in those situations. But I do understand those situations. It was really hard to gain 70 pounds in less than a year. That was really hard. Diet tip number 6. Only eat out at restaurants that start with that have the same initials as you. Like if your name starts with an A, then you can only eat at restaurants that start with an A. And then you're supposed to change your name to one of those science fiction names that are like those alphabet soup names that like start with the number 7 or some Greek alphabet letter or something, and like XYZ is definitely in those names as well. Okay, actually, tip number 6 is that you probably should stop eating out. Again, I know that this is a common dieting tip, but it's worth mentioning because I can eat 2 servings of my homemade lasagna and still consume less calories than a single serving eating out of lasagna. Yeah, that's true.
And I know there's plenty of people out there that are going to be like, I don't have time. And I'm like, time, schmime. It's an excuse excuse. Plan some freezer meals, learn how to use a crock pot or an Instapot or something. Just don't make it an option. Because if it's not an option, you're just going to consume cold cereal for dinner, which is still healthier than eating out. And actually, since they spray on those vitamins, it's really healthy. Or you're going to end up with a peanut butter sandwich or something like that. Just don't eat out.
And if you find yourself in a situation where you do need to eat out, because like say you're traveling or something like that, I actually recommend eating out at the grocery store. And so like stop by a little grocery store, look around. The options that they have there are usually less calories and just better for you than a lot of the options that you're going to get at Wendy's or McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or wherever else that you decide you want to go. And by the way, if you do eat out, do not send somebody else to go get your food. Remember, that is one of the previous tips. My last tip is to look at the calories on your food. Now, I know that like so many diet tips will say, you know, oh, look at your calories and count your calories. I'm not telling you to count your calories. I am telling you to look at the calories. And the reason that I'm telling you to do this is because oftentimes, if you're gonna waste calories, you might as well do it on something that you love instead of whatever happens to be in front of you at the moment. And so if you are, you know, did you know that double stuffed Oreos are 70 calories? Like serious, one cookie, 70 calories. Guess what else is 70 calories? I found out that these little things, you can have one of these little truffles. This is on the size that, you know, 2 of them are 140. Well, I can do a tiny bit of math, and that means one of them is 70. If I'm going to waste 70 calories, maybe I like these better than I like double stuffed Oreos. I'm not sure which one I like better. But some days I'm more like, this sounds better than that. And if you're going to do one, do the one that you like the best. And so, you know, by looking at the calories, you keep yourself from accidentally consuming a whole bunch of something that is very heavy in calories, but it also allows you to make better choices as to where you're going to put your calories. And so if you're thinking, I'm going to have one treat tonight, what is that treat going to be? Don't gotta kind of pick and choose. The other thing that counting calories, or not counting calories, the other thing that looking at the calories does is it reminds me of a can of Pringles. Now, the can of Pringles in this particular story was actually just a regular red can of regular Pringles. But for the purpose of visual aid, we are using this one because it happens to be something left over from our New Year's celebration that I grabbed and rinsed out and set in the cupboard so I would have it. Years and years ago, I met this girl and we were kind of casual friends, and we would occasionally see each other at the pool or those kinds of things. And she actually was a nanny, and I had little kids myself. You know, occasionally while we were over there at the pool, we would be sitting at the table with the little umbrella or whatever, and eating a snack or doing something like that. And one day she was eating Pringles, and so she pops the thing off and she's eating the Pringles, and then she checks the container and she's like, okay, one more. And I thought, because we were talking slightly about dieting things, it just happened to come up in the conversation, and I thought that perhaps that she was like, okay, that's a whole serving, I'm gonna be, I'm done for now, and that was, her thing. And she told me, she says, I have some really good dieting advice. And I was like, oh, really? She says, yeah. So you see on here where it says that, the serving size, it says 12 crisps, approximately 12 crisps is a serving. And, so 12 of the little chips in there. She says, if you only eat 11, then you don't get the calories. And so I almost laughed out loud. Like, I was like, oh, that was pretty good, ha ha ha. And something stopped me. And I realized she was serious. She was completely serious. She really thought that if you only ate 11 of the 12 crisps in the serving size, that you got none of the calories. Oh my goodness. And so, yeah, so she's become the brunt of our diet jokes ever since. But that leads to my very best dieting advice that I've ever had or could give you. And that is, sometimes people give you dieting advice and it is not good for you. Like, use some common sense. Does it work for you? Does it not work for you? Is there a reason why this particular dieting tip would be a really bad fit in your life? Then don't do it. So my very best dieting tip is to choose and use a little brain power when listening to dieting tips, and use the ones that work best for you or that would best suit you and your situation. So with that, we're going to sign off and see you next time on A Lolly Life.